What's up, everyone? Dub here again. Excited to dive into set 4 Shadows Over Solis, one of my favorite decks. I call it the Unfortunate, but really, I got really lucky pulling the Unfortunate Patrol deck, which contains a legendary Dark Forge beast called Noxantis, and I've really been trying to craft a deck around this. And basically, every time I lose health while Noxantis is out, he gains an energy counter. And if I remove, I can remove those energy counters once per round. And if I remove one, I get +5 attack. If I remove two, I get +5 attack and +5 HP. But if I remove three or more, I can play a creature for free and get that +5/+5 on the stats boost as well. Quite OP. And it came with the Blasphemous Tangle Sprout in the deck already, which every time I activate this card, I can deal 3 damage to myself, and an enemy creature will get minus attack and minus HP, which then procs the Noxantis, at least one of them. It's also got a Betrayal Scorchar card, which is pretty OP. Every time I deploy a Scorchar, it deals damage to all the enemy creatures across the board. If there's a couple with 1 HP out there, 2 HP, low life, this is a great board clear card to go alongside as I'm trying to focus and build my Noxantis, essentially. I paired this with one of my OP decks from back in set 3. That is my Shambling Shambler deck, which deals 3 damage to the enemy player and gains 3 HP to me. It doesn't proc any of the dealing damage to myself, unfortunately, but it turns out to be quite some OP plays, getting this Noxantis built up alongside just deplenishing my opponent with the Shambling Shambler card as well, alongside some of these OP spells that are in here as well. Alright, another one of my decks from the set 4 Shadows Over Solis that I wanted to show off is the Primeval Villains deck, is what I call it. It's crazy because it's got the 2 Kidriths. It's got the Necrium Kaisei Kidrith, which every time you slay, you can reanimate a creature. And then it's got the Core Kidrith from Utera, which if you play a spell, I can play a creature for free. So it's just creatures on creatures, spells on spells. Quite an OP deck. Excited to get some wombo combo craziness around the Kidriths and maybe get a Scorchworm out there or some Soul Thirst Harbinger. You know what it'll be. It's going to be a real good gameplay here, and excited to dive in. It would be dang near shameful of me if I didn't show off my Pipwick focus deck. If you haven't seen what a Pipwick is, a Pipwick, every time you deploy him, you can look at your enemy player's hand and choose a card and discard it. A new mechanic here in set 4, which was highly concerned of the community early on, and turning in nice. It's working out. It's not super OP, but on top of it, I have a spell here called the Sacrificial or the Soul Harvest, which I can look at an enemy player's hand and choose a card and discard it. So I literally have a setup here where going into like the very first round of a turn, I can discard 2 of the enemy's 5 cards at my choice. Initially taking out their best plays that would have happened. Quite an OP combo, having a Soul Harvest alongside a Pipwick card. And I built this along with a pretty strong Aloyan deck that features an Aloyan Casteer, which is a stealth unit that when it deals damage, it also deals that much damage to an enemy creature. So quite OP, makes the opponent really focus on their Crest, and allows me to build out some other plays around it with the rest of the cards here I have, like my Vicious Plague Bearer, as well, that can get quite big, or using a Vile Bite. So pretty excited to dive in some plays here and see if we can get off the 2-card denial out the gate with a Pipwick and a Soul Harvest spell to boot. One of the first ones I want to show off is my latest and greatest. I call it the Double Dozer deck, because it's got 2 of this Dozer the Slumbering Furry card, because I have a Betrayal Dozer. Dozer is a rare card in the set. What's cool about him is he is kind of like a hibernating bear, where when you get the silver card, and if you play it at the end of a deck cycle, if it's still up on your board, it gets replaced by the gold card, the 12/12, which strikes an opposing creature as combat happens every round, which is just obscene. You have to kind of like kill Dozer before combat, essentially. And the best part about this deck is there's 2 of them. Super, super strong. Also featuring the Elder Scorchworm rare card. That blasts when you play next to it, and when it slays, it gains health. So real strong card. Alongside the healing card, which can heal. Alongside a Kidrith card, which there's another deck around Kidrith that I'll show. Because this guy, when you play spell cards, it allows you to play cards from your hand, which is just OP. And it's an activate, it's not a deploy or anything. Super strong deck. Looking at my other filler cards, Reliable and Vicious, good keywords that bring some very strong attack damage there towards the end of the match. Alongside some really good spells, one of my favorite being the Vampiric Hunter, which augments onto a champion, and every time they slay, they deal damage to the opponent, and you gain HP, which is just crazy with the Terran loyalty. Very, very strong combo wombo deck. The boosting bee as well. Every single card in this just feels right. Professor Sumor giving on some augment attachments. Basically, you activate it and you pull augments out of your discard pile, and put them wherever you want. Flesh Eater, Plague Bear. The fact that you can just blast and play this, I've finished a couple games with just playing this to an unopposing lane and blasting away essentially. As well as the Dark Linger, taking care of that augment. Augment and blast being 2 critical keywords that came in with this set, and it's just crazy with my Double Dozer deck. So excited to dive in and show you some gameplay here.